Welcome to another episode of Voices. I'm your host, Keston Jones. Visionaries offering information with clarity, expertise, and substance. We are content experts. Let your voice be heard.
Welcome to another episode of Voices. I'm your host, Keston Jones, and today I have another special guest. With me, I have Pastor Isaac Scott.
That's right.
Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. I know you're doing a lot of great work in the community, but I felt it was very important for us to get you on here so you can share some of the wonderful work that you're doing. Folks, Isaac and I have known each other for a few years. We've taken part in a number of events, conferences. We've done great work together as it relates to elevating the voices of those who have been formerly incarcerated, or even family and community, and the importance of really just empowering our community. So I just thought that this individual, as someone who I believe is a change agent and on the pulse of doing great things and is doing great things in the community, I felt that you'd be great to have on the show. So how you feeling
man.
today?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm like, yeah, I was definitely, when I saw the show, when I saw it scrolling through my news feed, I was like, oh, there go my boy, he's doing this thing. And I was like, yes, I have to come on. I have to support. I have to lend my voice in any way that I can, man. So I'm here for you, bro.
Absolutely. And again, Voices, visionaries offering information with clarity,
Yes.
expertise, and substance.
Yes.
You know, I've had the pleasure of hearing you speak on a number of panels. And, I always, felt empowered and inspired by the great work that you're doing. Real recognized real.
Thank you, man.
So,
Thank you.
And in addition, you also have a number of projects that you're working on, media related. So I want you to get into all that. Tell the folks about what you're doing.
Man.
So before we get into that,
Okay.
tell us about yourself. For those who don't know who you are, Isaac, where you're from. Tell us about your upbringing and any particular childhood memory that stands out.
So I grew up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, born and raised in Harlem. I grew up in Douglas Projects. This is right in the Upper West Side of Harlem. And it's funny because I'm still in the Upper West Side of Harlem at Columbia University. But, thinking about, childhood memories, I was really giving that some thought when I was on my way over here. It's like, what do I really want to share? But I think what's necessary to share is the perseverance I saw within my mother. I remember all the time my mother, me being the oldest, she would vent a lot of the things she was going through to me, but then a day or two later, it was like it didn't exist anymore. And what I learned over the years is that my mother was just a good problem solver. She would come and she would explain to me the problem, and then she would, when I would ask her about it, she'd, I did this, I took care of it this way, I took care of it that way. And I think for me, that was everything, and learning how to just navigate rough circumstances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, part of the many hats that you wear, and you wear them well, by the way, is that you're an artist.
Yeah.
And not just, playing with art. Like, you're somebody who has had a number of art shows, galleries, premieres. But taking us back to the beginning, when did you first realize that you had the talent for art?
So I actually started the arts in prison during my bid. So I did 9 years in prison, formerly incarcerated. I've been home for about 5 years now. Excuse me. About 3 years into my bid, I started coloring and drawing little cartoon characters on envelopes, sending them home to people in an effort just to get family to respond more, things like that. I don't know how many people have been in prison or have received something from someone like that, but it's like a touching thing where they get a little envelope with a heart on it that says, I love you, I'm thinking about you. It definitely prompts a different emotion in your loved ones, and it does, in a lot of occasions, cause them to reach out to you and take that extra step, because it's very discouraging for the family when a person is in prison, and it's very easy for them to just fall out of communication with you as they're living life and you're sitting still there, right? So I would make those little arts and craft pieces, and I began to sell them to the men that I was living with, to the extent that I started becoming a greeting card man. So I went to 3 different spots. And anybody who knows me from up north knows, Isaac was doing that art up there.
So
and that's
Hallmark.
what I was doing. Hallmark, that was me.
Hallmark.
That was me, baby. I was doing it. I even got so funny. I I got my mother still has one of the birthday cards I sent her on her computer stand at home. It's amazing.
Oh man,
But
amazing, amazing. So, in addition to all the work that I'm waiting for the hallmark for the greeting card business to come out.
You know what? You know what? My wife's been saying that. She said, "Baby, you came home. You used to do all of these cards. What happened? You don't do them no more." I'm like, I kind of evolved into different forms of art, but I'm very much, I really in line with that. I very much want to bring back a greeting card system that's handmade for people in prison now, not coming out of prison, but going in now. You know, let's put some things together and send it to the brothers and the sisters inside that need some support.
Well, listen, man, I love the idea of that, and you can always count me in.
Cool.
And speaking of prison and speaking of those incarcerated, like I said, we met in a number of different panels, a number of different areas where it was an opportunity for the voice of those that have been impacted by the system to share their voices. And you and I have both shared our voices. So the question is, like, when did you realize that your voice was a voice that needed to be heard, and how did you develop it? Where did you find this voice?
I can't, I would be lying if I said it happened that way and that I just knew that my voice needed to be heard. When I came home with a bunch of art, not sure what I was going to do with the art. It wasn't social justice related, and I'm thinking, I know I want to do this art stuff when I come home. And when I came home, I was getting my feet planted and, just the normal stuff we got to do, find a job, get situated back with family. And I started going to these social justice events, and in doing so, two things happened. One, I began to understand the power of my own narrative, right? And just by listening to the stories of the other brothers who came before me and the other sisters who came before me. But the second thing was I was able to find my own lane. And knowing that, okay, I'm an artist, I can create art in this genre. I'm not, at the time, I still don't feel like I'm the best speaker, but I will damn sure get down on some canvas, on a screen, and I will put together some work that'll really tell you what's going on inside of me. And that's what I really realized, that like my voice, however it came, if it came through the arts, if it came through a talk, however it was, and I guess that's where it kind of, I started to understand the importance of like leadership and things like that for people.
Absolutely, and with respects to your voice through art, I've seen some amazing pieces that you've done.
I hope you like those, man.
Absolutely,
just playing around, man. Just playing around.
And no, but this is very, and your imagery. The images that you utilize in order to tell the stories of those that have been impacted by the criminal justice, or dare I say the criminal injustice system. Like, why art?
It's so funny, man. I used to say this. I used to be like, before I really got into the arts, I used to see some pieces and I used to be like, damn, I wonder what's going on in their head, man. And then I looked at one of my last pieces and I said, Isaac, the same thing could be said for you. Like, people probably thinking the same thing. And to be honest with you, I really don't know. Sometimes people need a visual. And it's like, okay, here's what we're trying to tell people. The issue is they're not getting it by us just telling them. How can we put down a visual that'll be a little more descriptive for them? So that's pretty much where I'm coming from when I think about my pieces. Also, like, let me give you the raw image of what this looks like, right? We know because we did time, so we know what it looks like on the inside. They don't, so in a lot of ways, I feel like it's our responsibility to show people what it looks like on the side, because docs and the system is not going to do that. They're going to keep those walls high so people can't get in to see in. So we got to bring narratives outside of there. And my experience, I owe that. The artwork and the work I'm producing, the content, I owe that, to the people, for the young men who may kind of fall through the same cracks that I did to get to where I was at, or for the sake of educating prosecutors. I was at an event yesterday where we have a collaborative project with the Center for Justice and the Institute of Innovation and Prosecution. It's an inside criminal justice course, my brother, where prosecutors sit down with people who are doing time and they come up with policy proposals together. Not only do they, before they can even come up with a proposal together, bro, they got to sit together and hash out some things. And he got some things, right? So I think just in those spaces where people can get together and do those sorts of things. That's what my goal is in the arts, to start to bridge this gap between people and create this human connection, change perceptions, change the narrative, and really start to rehumanize people. Really.
Absolutely. Speaking of like bridging the gap and bringing different elements together, you've also created a partnership or been involved in the partnership with Columbia University, and you are actually, attending school and involved in other projects within Columbia. Can you talk a little bit about those projects and how did that come about?
Yeah. So in 2015, I was accepted into the Justice and Education Scholars Course. The Scholars Course is one free Columbia course that's offered to formerly incarcerated people who are interested in continuing their education post-incarceration. I was nominated by a professor there because she caught wind of the confined arts in our infancy stages, and she really grew a liking to me. I love her so much, and she nominated me for the program. I got in, I did the course, and I just never left Columbia. I stayed. I got to Cheryl, I got to Geraldine, I got to all of the people there, and they had knew me from just coming home and starting to do my work in the arts and volunteering places. So they took a chance with me, and they're not disappointed. It's just been history since then. I've been at the Center for Justice for the last 3.5 years, and we've been doing some amazing things, and I'm very proud of the women leadership over there, and just like what we've been able to do over the past few years as a new center at Columbia in Harlem, and holding Columbia accountable for their role in gentrification and mass arrest in the projects that's right there, and really, creating spaces where Columbia can give back in ways that, other universities may not know how to or may not think to, so it's been huge having us on campus there. We're definitely like making a big footprint there, bro.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the confined arts,
yes, man.
which is one of your projects. I see you have a shirt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to the confined arts. But tell us about the how did this project start, and what are some of the other projects that you have within the umbrella of confined arts?
Okay, so when I came home, I created Isaac's Quarterly, and Isaac's Quarterly is a socially conscious, artist-led really resource for artists. I wanted it to be, so the story behind it is that coming home, I really, doors weren't open for me to just show my artwork anywhere, so it was really like, I'm gonna just go and make the spaces myself and show this artwork myself, and in doing that, when I opened the platform up for myself, we also entered in, I was working with a good friend of mine, Fury Young, who's doing the Jim Crow project, and he brought in a bunch of artwork from folks who are formerly incarcerated, that are currently incarcerated, and I was the formerly incarcerated person, so we launched the show with just that. We had a ton of work from people on the inside, and then we had the artwork from me. And then we just went from there, and we started to bring in more people from the inside, more people outside, more advocates, and it's just been a snowball effect, my brother, so much so that we've expanded our platform to advocate for not just criminal justice issues, but other social justice issues like women's rights, immigration rights, domestic violence. We've also expanded our platform from just being like fine art and poetry to being performing arts, musical events, films now. We have a partnership with Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and we're producing films there. So we just secured a community partnership grant with Humanities New York. So we're rolling, bro. We're rolling now.
Listen,
man.
I feel the energy, and in terms of the work that you're doing, you also have a thought leader and a partner in this work. You're married.
Yes.
Can you talk about how the partnership which you and your wife has developed, and you guys, both of you are doing work, separately, but also doing work collaboratively in a number of different areas. So can you talk about how does that look, and how is that?
That's one of those questions where I gotta say all good stuff, right?
I set you up.
No bad is coming out of
question.
this.
Shout out to Haiti Lee.
Shout out to Haiti Lee. Okay. No, that's my queen, bro. That's my queen. She's everything for me, man. But she's really just like very supportive, man. If not anything else, man. I can really bounce ideas off of her, and she'll shoot them down if they bad, bro. She's very honest, but she's very nice, and she's very always calm, and she's very helpful and peaceful for a formerly incarcerated person, I would say. For the psychological things we come home with after incarceration. So she's been able to, you know, navigate that with me. She's been able to help me. Haiti has helped me to really be, really to understand like the importance of taking care of your emotions, you know, the importance of taking care of you personally and not just going out there grinding. And it's like, you know, one of the things, if you ever say like team no sleep to her, she'll look at you and be like, team, you gonna die. And she says that because she's always emphasizing the, you know, make sure you take time to take care of yourself, Isaac, you know, rest. Do what you need to do for you, because you can't help anyone unless you're taking care of you first. And she's very good with the things I'm not good with. So I thank God for her very, very much, because iron sharpens iron right there, and that she picks up where I leave off, bro.
Absolutely,
really good,
man.
bro.
Shout out to the wonderful queens out there that are there supporting us with our vision and our dreams, and also that we're doing the same thing to support visions and dreams for the family.
That's a fact, bro.
Oh my God, this has been this time has gone by so quickly. We've covered a number of areas, but I just want to thank you again for coming on the show to share your work, and also, you know, the invite to come and premiere some more of the great work that you're doing. But you know, before we leave, can you leave us with any final words, or also any projects that you have upcoming, things that we need to look out for, and also how do we get in contact with you? What's your social media? You know, you know, the website, the platform for them to see some of the great work that you're doing. Please share.
Yeah, you can follow me in the Confined Arts at Isaac's Quarterly, ISAACS Quarterly, QUARTERLY. But more importantly, I do want to leave everyone with a final thought, and that final thought is that I hear a lot at discussions and at events. What can we do to help? How can we get involved? And I just want to encourage everyone to get involved by doing your part to change the narrative. You know, let's start using different language, less dehumanizing language. I'm doing research at Columbia University that shows the words inmate, prisoner, and convict produce a more negative and dehumanizing perception of people. So we definitely want to stop, you know, talking about people in certain ways. We definitely want to change our discourse around situations and things people go through. And let's remember, we're talking about our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters, and let's have more love and compassion for one another. That's the first thing we can do to change the narrative, because other than that, we're just pumping laws and policies down people's throat, and they don't understand why it's important to care about these people. And we have to, you know, we have to rehumanize people. So that's the final thought I want to leave with everybody. But the Confined Arts, and if you Google search us, we there, and just come out, support. We love you.
Absolutely, man. Oh, God, man. Again, thank you for being on the show. This has been another episode of Voices. How do you feel about this topic? Do you believe that art can be utilized as an effective medium to really elevate the voices of those who are incarcerated, formerly incarcerated, as well as those who are marginalized? What's your thoughts on that? Are you an artist? Are you an inspiring artist? Do you want more information on how to get involved in this type of work? Please hit us with your comments. Hope to hear from you soon. Again, it's been your boy Keston Jones, your host, Keston Jones, with another episode of Voices, signing off. Peace.